Greetings in the name of Yahuwah and his son Yahusha Mashiach. My name is Malak Shalomo, and I'm going to do a little trade setup and just an overview of the market to see where we're at. The time is 12:26 Eastern Time. Today is the 5th of October, so I'm doing a trade setup and overview for the upcoming RTH Open. So starting off with the bond markets. Let's see here. So we have this push-up candle that happened today, right? Now I want you to take a look at the volume that came in, right? So would you say that the volume that came in here, right, matches this candle? To me, I don't think so. I don't think it matches it. So from a VPA, volume price analysis perspective, this doesn't look like a candle that matches this volume. I would think that that candle should have pushed up a little more, at least to retest these levels here, right? Or at least probably covered this candle as well, you know? Well, not maybe covered the whole candle, because looking at this volume right here for this candle, this one is probably 2/3 of that candle right there, right? So we should get 2/3 of this move here, right? Which should lead us to approximately up here, right? I would say it should get up to about there, but we didn't get up there. So I'm thinking it's just like a little retracement gonna happen here. This is the daily chart on the bonds market. This is the municipal muni bond ETF, right? So if we're getting support at the monthly Camarilla S3 level, right? Because even though I'm looking at the volume, it doesn't really match. Other traders jump into stuff like this as soon as, well, bullish traders, right? They live for reversals. So, and that's whether it's day traders or is big institutions, right? Remember, the market was made for bulls by bulls, right? So with this reversal here off of Camarilla S3 or this supporting wick, we got this buy in here. We did not continue downwards, right? So making note of that, we had a gap up open this morning on the bonds. So a possible retest of monthly Camarilla S3 is possible, right? Or we could just get back to the middle of the Camarilla area, probably retest this lower deviation on the annual anchored VWAP. So right now, I would say confidently that it's not continuing downwards. Now we got to see what's happening here, if it's going to move up further. All right, so let's see here. We're going to go to copper next. Right, so from this little accumulation phase here, or a supporting accumulation phase, we pushed up. Let me just pull out this again. Right, so we had support, right? We had a push-up run, came back, support accumulated a little bit here, and that's when we took off, right? Came back, retest, accumulated around VPOC, pushed up, and distributed, right? So you see that pattern right there. We just distributed until we pull back, retest, big sell-off again, and they're just taking profit in this little situation right here, this consolidation or auction, right? Came back to the VPOC, lost it. Stop losses were triggered here, I'm sure. Got buyers to come back in because this is where they initiated price, right? Had this accumulation, well, not accumulation, but auction around VPOC, and then we lost it again, right? So now we're here at Camarilla S4, monthly Camarilla S4, right? We wicked out below it, looking like we were gonna continue down to the high volume node, but now we got that support buy back up. And yesterday we had this kind of, let me just make that bigger, this kind of indecision candle, right? So, well, actually, let me see. This is, yeah, this candle is today. Let me just hold on 1 second. Let me just try something here real quick. Drop down to the 4-hour. And let's take a look at it from the 4-hour chart. So around here, this candle is where trading closed today, right? So this candle ended up bullish, and now we're doing, this is the ETH candle where it's kind of indecisive, right? So we had this indecision here at 10 a.m. this morning, well, yesterday, Wednesday. Then we had a little smaller range, and then we eventually bought up, right? So closed on the highs. We had a kind of like a 50% retracement of this prior sell-off right here. And that was at the close of, no, this was at 6 a.m. this morning, right? 6 a.m. on Wednesday, right? So we had this sell-off, and we're now kind of like 50%, probably 60% retracement on the highs of this candle right here. So is it really bullish at the moment, or are they taking profits off the short, or what? I'm not too sure as to we need to see some follow through. Basically, all we could say again is that there's no follow through to the downside for now, right? So keeping that in mind, we're aware of the potential bullishness arising in the market right now, because a lot of these stuff were at a support level. Like I was showing here, this is where they came back to where they first took off from. So this would obviously be where, if they want to still stay in play, they would want to buy from here again. So maybe that's happening. Maybe it's taking profit from the shorts. We got to see now if there's continuation, right? So on the US dollar daily chart, we had some taking profit here on the 28th of September. We even shoot down here again on the 29th of September, and buyers just step right back in and push that right back up, causing this bullish candle here on the 2nd of October. And we pushed through the 61% fib line, right? Now it's looking like they took profit here on the top, had this sell-off candle here, right, today, and now we're pushing down even further. So is this a case of taking profit, or are the buyers done? Is the bullish run done? Because where we're looking at, let's say we starting from, let's see where this bullish, all right, so let's say a lot of volume started coming in here, right? So we have this bullish run up. We came up to the 61% fib line, and would you say that the bullish run is done on the US dollar? I wouldn't think so, because interest rates is rising, and it'll be beneficial for foreign countries to hold the US dollar, and it's good for banks to trade as well. Excuse me. It's good for banks, and just trading the foreign currency is good to buy up the US dollar with the impending rising of interest rates, right? So with the interest rates rising, it's good to hold that dollar, because you'll get your best trades off of that with foreign currencies, right? So a strong dollar, keep on buying. Right now, they may be taking some profits up here at this 61% level. Everybody will be looking at that. So I think the buying isn't over, but we could definitely come back and retest this 50% level to pick up more buys, right? Pick up more dollars, right? To push even higher. We have this high volume node here, and plus this is a little low volume area that's it's probably going to shoot through there once it gets back and retests certain levels like the 50%, right? So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at it like, oh, it's going to just pull straight back to VPOC and it's going to be a mean reversion here. I don't think so, right? So we'll see how that goes, right? Now, with this happening here, we're going to get some bullishness in the, we're going to get that bullishness in Euro USD, right? On the Forex side of things, we're going to get Euro USD pushing up. Excuse me. So also is coming off a monthly Camarilla S3, got support here. Now we could end up retesting some of these levels, right? These breakdown levels right here, like around this level at 1.06343, right? So that's the potential of these moves as far as I see it, right? If it's really bullish and the dollar really pulls back, we could come up to monthly cam R3 at 1.06829, right? So right, so on the ES chart now, go over to the daily. Right, so we have this down channel here. We broke the down channel and we hit Camarilla, monthly Camarilla S3, right? Same kind of situation, kind of like the Euro USD. So the Euro USD just pushed through, I think, monthly Camarilla S3 a little deeper. So this one actually hit almost to the T, pushed down below it a little bit, didn't find any more sellers, and they pushed up, right? So it's looking bullish for now. We're coming off a monthly cam S3. We could get up to these levels here of we're now getting, this is monthly cam S2. We pushed above that. This is a yearly cam R3. So price does react around that level, as you see, right? We got some bounces here. So, and we had that rejection right there. So long-term players are watching this yearly Camarilla R3. Once we stay above this, in a long-term trader's mind or institution's mind, it's still potentially bullish, right? Because being above Camarilla R3 is bullish, right? So if they push back above this level, then we have some value areas to look at. I'm gonna go down to the 1 hour chart now and let's see what that's looking like. And the volume is good here too. You know, it's heavy volume. Let me point that out. Right, so that's heavy volume on the bullish run up right there. So it's looking good on the daily chart. So let's see here. Let's go down to the 1 hour chart. Right. Let's look at some movement here, right? So we had this sideways movement here, broke down, went sideways again, broke a little bit less, right? Pulled back a little bit, broke down, test to see if there's any sellers below this level. We didn't get any sellers at that time, and we pushed back up, went sideways, and we came back up to retest these levels right here, right? So now all these things, this movement right here, I think that was a whole week of movement. This wasn't good selling. This wasn't a good continuation of this selling right here. It was basically sideways, right? Because we ended up almost where we started, right? Probably even higher than we opened, right? So this following week here, we got the continuation downwards and we got to monthly Camarilla S3, and now we're getting that reversal again, right? So I would say we definitely come back up to the open. Well, not definitely, but we could possibly come back up to the open. We're going to be coming back into this downward channel and the value area of last month, right? So let me just make this a little bigger. Right, so now we're looking at this weekly value area level, right? Weekly value area low, right? This white line right here, right? So we're now back into last week's value area, right? So we broke down from it, hit monthly Camarilla S3. Let me pull that into view. Right, so that's monthly Camarilla S3 right there. Point that out. Right, so that's what we hit to the T. Basically dipped below it a little bit, and that's where we found the buyers, right? So now we're back into value, right? Now the next stop should be testing the POC areas, right? So this is the weekly lower POC and the weekly upper POC, right? So around this level here is where we should definitely get back to, and that's also where the central pivot range for the week is as well, right? And it's a narrow range, so price is probably pulling back to this level. Now, if I want to continue being short, these are good areas to look for weakness, right? Now, I'm not ignoring that we have this kind of nice bullish retracement, right? So I'll be cautious in taking any shorts. I wanted to prove to me that we're failing at these levels. So I'm looking at in the immediate to like this week, like tomorrow and Friday. I'm looking at these levels here to see what's happening. All right, let me make this a little bigger. You see, we have the central pivot range. This is the weekly. I gotta make this bigger. Right, so this is the weekly floor pivot, the central pivot range, and this is previous week's mid. Right, so all of these things here, plus the POC area here, this entire range right here. I'm looking for price to come back somewhere inside here and potentially reject off of these levels, right? One of these levels anyway. So let's see what price is really about. Probably in the RTH tomorrow is probably gonna be a gap up open because this was yesterday's close. So now we're above yesterday's close. So we're looking at a gap up open. Now let's look at some pivot levels for the day tomorrow. All right, so I know there's a lot on my chart, so let me just point this stuff out here. So Camarilla S3 is here, right? No, sorry, hold on. Camarilla S3 is here, and it's now in line with the central floor pivot, right? I might have to make it a little bigger so you could distinguish between the two because it's real tight. Right, so they're in very close proximity, so it's creating this golden pivot zone around previous week's low, previous month's low, and these support levels here, right? So we have support beneath. We opened above the central pivot range. We came back and we tested value area low, weekly value area low, right? We bounced off of that. Buyers came in. And we're pushing up now above yesterday's close, right? So we're also pushing above weekly CAM S3. So all of this we're above supporting pivots, right? Now one thing that lets me know that we have a change in the way price action is moving is also through the pivots. So now we have overlapping higher value, meaning that Camarilla S3 pushed up from where it previously was. Let me see if I could bring that back. Right. So Camarilla S3 was previously at this level right here, and now it moved up to this level, right? Let me just, so yesterday's Camarilla S3, today's Camarilla S3, right? This is yesterday's Camarilla R3, and now Camarilla R3 is now pushing up to this level. So it's an overlapping higher value relationship, right? And this could now be where we reject off of tomorrow. And you see it's lining up with the POC area, the weekly lower POC, right? So it's lining up with that area right there where we could potentially get a rejection, right? So all of this little area right here, I'm just looking for price to get into this level and see if it gets a rejection here. If it doesn't, well, I might take a long maybe, but I don't really want to take a long in the face of, this is also Camarilla R3, right? I mean R4, right? Along with floor pivot R2, right? So there's a lot of resistance for price to push through, right? So the buyers really gotta come out to push through these levels. So I don't think they'll do it, but if the US dollar keeps pulling back, maybe it will. So those are basically my setups. Let me see if I can make this bigger and show you where the setups. All right, so Camarilla R3, I'd take a nice short from here, try and get back to, let's say, right, so the excuse me, right. And possibly get back to like maybe Camarilla S3 or this weekly value area low, right? So that'll be a nice 29 points. If that really gives a textbook rejection off of this level, I could get a nice entry and just take that all the way back, right? If not, we're looking at floor pivot R1. That's lining up with the upper POC, the weekly upper POC. Could catch a reversal somewhere around here. Same target, right? And if not that, then the central pivot, right? To come back to the same target. And if not that, then I'll maybe consider Camarilla R4. But then that'll be it'll be proven too much to me that is bullish. So I'm still looking for some shorts, right? Because we have an overlapping higher value in a downtrend, which is supposed to get rejection off of these Camarilla resistance levels, right? So it's lining up perfectly. Will it proceed and push through these levels? And we gotta wait and see, you know. So that's basically my trade setups right there. You know, I'm looking for, hold on. I'm looking for this. Or I'm looking for this. Or possibly this one right here. And I don't have to capture the entire length of to come back down to the weekly value area low. You know what I'm saying? But just these are my action levels. These are my execution levels that if it comes out like a textbook play, I'll get these entries, right? So how long I can be able to hold a trade, I gotta see. I gotta manage my trade and see what's the best probability, right? So, and plus secure profits. So it could even come back to yesterday's high. You know what I mean? Like around 43 or 4, I might just capture that. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta see. Everything happens. It's on a daily basis. You could plan trades out, but then you have to manage the trade. So this is just a good way for me to see where I want to execute. So I'm sharing this with you. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you could kind of plan your trades out as well. They say to plan the trade and trade the plan. So that's what I'm doing. All right, y'all. So that's my trade setups for tomorrow. I hope you all enjoyed the breakdown. I hope it makes sense to you. If you have any feedback or you have any input, just drop it in the comments, or hit me up on Twitter. I think it's Malak Shalomo. Yeah, Malak Shalomo. Let's see here. I got it right here. I can't even remember my own name on right. Malak Shalomo Trading, right? So if you want to hit me up on here, just hit me up on here. You can ask me anything, man. Just hit me in the messages, or you know what I'm saying. All right, y'all. So it's Malak Shalomo. Y'all enjoy the trading week, the trading day tomorrow, and stay blessed.